during the Cultural Revolution, the whole nation people were crazily worship Mao, and they thought sometimes the communism become a reality. But unfortunately, after the end of Cultural Revolution, people lose the faith toward communism, and also Mao Zedong thought. And I think I'm still young, but I can feel the generation. For example, my brothers and my sisters' generation, they are older than me 10 years, because they spent 10 years in countryside. When they, brought this kind of revolutionary idealism to the countryside, they planned to dedicate their life, their knowledge to the poor countryside. But eventually they found this kind of ideal was not, something they want to pursue. So I think that generation were really the lost generation. And so this is the question is, after people lost their faith toward the revolution, what they believe in. So there is some kind of spiritual crisis immediately happened after the Cultural Revolution. And so even I'm not that generation, but I can feel that this kind of hunger and people's anxiety, because not only from my family members, and also I read a lot of novels and articles at that time. So personally I didn't involve, but I think I just followed the discussion on the life meaning, which happened in early 1980. The letter sent to the editor, which is to a magazine, the China Youth. This is a very famous magazine. If people had experience in that time, they knew how that influenced Chinese young people. And because the letter saying, why life road is getting narrow and narrow, and had a lot of questions. For example, if we don't believe in communism, and can we turn to Christianity, or can we turn to the Buddhism, can we turn to, a lot of questions about life meaning. And actually that letter, if we put on today, is just quite simple, because everyone may have the time to have some kind of life crisis. But at that time, immediately received the response, the nationwide. I checked the record about 75,000, letter response, this letter. And almost every letter talk about their own experience, how they suffered and sacrificed their, ideal during the Cultural Revolution in the countryside, or something like that. But I just feel not only this kind of anxiety with losing faith, and the anxiety is how to find the faith, the new faith, to replace the old one. So that is something I really want to look at, whether when China entered into the process of modernization, people really don't need the spirit. Of course, the answer is no, and people do need a spirit. And also, in China, I think China was not the only country to practice atheism, but China is one of the country in the past decades, by the political ideology, and also combined with the education system, everyone was trained by materialism, atheism, and almost every Chinese people was familiar with religion is equal with opium. And we were looking forward, maybe someday the religion would completely disappear in this world. But that's another question I want to test, whether that can be true as in my research in Shenzhen.